You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Hey!
And we're live.
Oh, we're live. Live is a difference. Anyway, God damn it, this looks good.
Okay, great.
Oh, shit. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Swadik Mayanja. You can call me Q. And this is the Everyday Hero Show, where I bring to you someone in your life or someone in my life that brings us joy and happiness, but does not get the credit that they deserve.
Oh, my God.
Today I have a friend, a co-worker, a travel nurse. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Sarah. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank
you very much for joining me.
Well,
of course.
What a treat.
Let me get these napkins out the way so I don't look like a bum. What's it called? So first and foremost, Sarah, why don't you tell me and the folks at home, who are you?
Okay.
Where are you from?
Great.
And why nursing?
Okay. So I am Sarah, as Q said. We met at Highland Hospital, which is where we're working right now. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Ukiah, California, which is...
Ukiah?
Ukiah. Oh, it's a special little place 2 hours north of San Francisco. Okay. Fun little town. And was living in Seattle for about 6 years and then relocated back to the Bay Area pretty much exactly a year ago.
Congratulations. Why nursing?
Okay. To be completely honest, I was very firmly steered into the profession by my parents, and I'm so thankful for it because I can't really imagine doing anything else. Yeah.
Mrs. Sarah and Mr. Sarah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm talking about mom.
Yeah, mom.
Parents of Sarah.
Parents of
Congratulations.
Sarah. Yeah.
You did a good job.
Yeah, they did good.
You did a really, really good job.
They did good.
So, explain to me the steering. Were your parents nurses?
Yes, medical professionals. Dad is a doctor. Mom was a nurse, and they were kind of, you're like 17, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, and you're like, I don't know what I want to do. And then my mom was just like, you're going to go to nursing school. And what the initial allure, and it still is, what I'm most happy with this profession is there's a ton of freedom, like being a travel nurse, for example. So cool. This is my first year doing it. And you can take extended time off. You make enough to pay your bills, and the job itself is so rewarding, so unique, so intense and stimulating. You're physically active, you're using your brain, you're interacting with, other nurses are always so cool. Medical professionals are always interesting, cool people for the most part.
So obviously, so prior to this, I already told Sarah that what I wanted to talk about was the COVID and being a travel nurse and all that stuff, but from what you said from the get, there's a million questions because I think this is relevant to so many people because nursing and healthcare as in large is one of those professions parents, adults, human beings like to tell their children to get in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about that because I had a very similar experience, but for me, it wasn't steered. It was more suggested, and then I fell into it because I was it's been suggested to me so many times. I'm good at the sciences, might as well at least try it. So explain to me, what's your definition of steered? And would you tell parents out there, would you tell nurses out there, would you suggest the same for their kids or not?
Okay, totally. So here's the thing, I was a little dancer growing up, and I was terrifying my parents because I was like, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to major in dance and you're going to dish out thousands and thousands of dollars for me to get my dancing fine arts degree. And then who knows what would happen after that. So they were basically like, that's not an option. And this is how they did the trade-off with me. They said, go to nursing school. You're going to get this incredible, hireable degree. And for them, financial stability was very important.
Of course.
And so, that's nursing degree is one of the coolest jobs because you go in, you can do your prereqs at a community college, get into a nursing program. Boom, you're out of school. You are so hireable. You're needed all over the country. You get paid well. Right. And here I am now. I work 3 days a week, and back before COVID, I would go to dance classes on my days off. This year, I was going to try to be in a dance show. Obviously, can't really do that, but that's still an option in the future. So it's this cool job where you can really have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
And do, like, I'm passionate about my job, but I also have so many other passions outside of my work that I can pursue. And then at the end of the day, I can pay my bills. I'm not stressed about money. And then even better, the job itself is so rewarding. It's just like, what a treat, you know?
Yes, and I love that, and I love everything you're saying. But I'm gonna push just a little bit more.
Sure.
Do you think that your parents were too hard on you? Do you think they were hard, like just the right enough, or do you think that
I honestly, okay, I don't feel like I had an option to do anything else, but
you did a good job,
exactly.
Mama Dukes, Mama Sarah, good for you.
But then the thing is who I had no idea. Like, I knew that I loved dance and I wanted to pursue that in some way, shape, or form when I was 17, 18 years old, and I just think it's cool when parents let their kids kind of do whatever they want right after high school and figure out themselves and get a better head on their shoulders and then maybe have more clarity about what they want to do. But I don't know if all parents are, sometimes that's just not an option. I'm happy. Yeah. Yes. Like I said, I feel like I've been lucky in that I have the best of both worlds. Like, my job is cool and rewarding, and then I have all these other passions that I have the time and energy to pursue outside work.
Sarah, so I'm going to let this go for now.
Okay,
but we're going to come back to this at the end because
Okay.
I think we're touched on a really important thing,
Okay,
but we'll
I'm
jump back on it.
nervous. Okay.
No, we'll jump back on it in the end because I want to delve deep into
Sure.
your dancing side hustle.
Okay,
if we
yeah.
may. Anyway, let's jump into the nursing process,
Okay,
right?
great.
You're a nurse. You're
Yeah.
a travel nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So for nurses out there, before I became a travel nurses were this wild breed of nurses out
Totally.
there that lived their life and
Yeah.
were doing some crazy
Yeah.
shit. But now that I am a travel nurse, it's so blah,
Yeah.
right? But everyone that I meet that's not a travel nurse sees me as, oh my goodness, your life is so wild. So why don't you walk us through the process of
I
you've
feel
done
like I am
nursing-
the worst person to ask, though, because you know me.
What?
Because this is my first and only year doing travel nursing, and I've been at the same hospital all year long.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Wait. Before we talk about
Okay,
you
okay.
staying at the hospital,
Okay.
let's talk about you deciding to be a travel nurse.
Okay, totally.
Why did you decide
Yes.
to be a travel nurse, and what was the process of becoming a travel nurse?
Okay, yeah. So, you get your nursing degree, and then I got my first job in Seattle, which is where I went to school. And they had a great training program, so I did their new grad training program, worked there for 2 years, had an incredible time. That was a great experience. I mean, that first year is always tough, but I very well supported, good training, just well-staffed, good hospital to learn at. And then what I found frustrating, though, is time off of work. Life balance is very important to me, and I felt like at that hospital, being a staff nurse, I had so many vacation hours, and good luck trying to use them. Hospitals are always short-staffed. I'd be like, and I wouldn't even ask for time off around holidays. I would just be asking for a chunk of time off whenever in the fall. I don't know, I knew that other people with like kids and families would be less busy, and it was always so hard to get the time off you requested. And so to me, travel nursing, I loved the idea of doing an assignment, taking a month off, 2 months off, 3 months off between jobs. Oh my God. To me, that is what the dream was. And then there's so many places that I want to live. So what a great thing to just, jump into this job where you can live in San Francisco for a year, and then I could go to like Colorado next, and maybe Hawaii, whatever. Yeah.
Maybe Hawaii. So we talked about Hawaii.
Yes.
Hawaii's a spot.
It is a spot. I'm thinking about it.
Hawaii's a spot. Look, I'm right now, and I'm in California, so
Yeah, right?
I'm as good as it gets.
Yeah.
But with that being said, so you said that wait, what did I want to say? Oh, so you said that you enjoy that you get this time off, but you also wanted to do. I'm having the same issue with you. Because like you guys have to understand something. For you nurses out there, you do understand that yes, we only work 3 days a week, and some hospitals require every other weekend, some hospitals require every third weekend, right? And if you work in an office, you don't have to work any weekends. So it depends on where you're working. But for the majority of nurses who work in a hospital, it's 3 days on, every other or every third. And specifically with that, everyone on the planet knows hospitals, nursing homes,
Yeah.
Assisted livings, places where nurses work don't close.
No, it's a
ever.
24-hour
It's
operation.
a 24/7.
Once I leave, someone else is doing what I'm doing. There's
Exactly.
never, someone is always
Someone's
there.
always there.
Yeah,
Someone's always there.
exactly.
So would you trade this for anything else? Let's talk about that schedule. 3 days a week, 12 hours a week,
Yeah.
working every third, every other weekend.
Right. I mean, lately at Highland, they don't even put me on weekends. these days.
Right.
I'm not going to say anything.
I
Oh, I guess, I take it back. I'm working next weekend for the first time in months, but yeah, I've been.
But still, what's your definition of like a dream schedule where you get to do what you want on the weekends and on the holidays, versus what are you actually doing currently?
Yeah. So to me, the pretty standard nurse schedule of 3 12s a week to me is super dreamy.
Yes.
And like you said, we'll occasionally work a weekend, which to me is fine because the whole world is off on the weekends and most places are swamped and super busy. And so what a treat to be off maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and get to do all these fun things. And it's really fun to be friends with other nurses that also have weekdays off and you can go bop around and do whatever you want. So I do love that. And I like the 12-hour shift. You just get there and you're going to be there all day.
Yep.
And that's your day. And boom, and then you're like making your money that whole day, and then you're going to be off for a stretch of time. Great.
Done and done.
Done and
are you
done,
are you one
exactly.
of them wild nurses that like to bang them out 3 in a row, or do you like to just do like you don't? Does it bother you at all? And days and nights.
Oh, days only. I am a rare creature where I have never worked a night shift my entire nursing time so far. Not even in school. I've never done a single night shift.
Bless your soul.
I know. And I'm
Bless
going to keep it that
yourself.
way. I'm not trying to be nocturnal. I'm such a daytime person. I couldn't do night shift.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Moving forward.
Okay, so now we know your schedule. Now we know how you became a travel nurse.
Yes.
What's the plan, Sarah?
Oh my
What
God.
is the plan moving forward? Do you see yourself being a travel nurse long term? If so, if the answer is yes, where are we going to next? If you want to stop travel nursing, where do you want to end up as a nurse?
Okay. So currently I'm finding it hard to plan for the next month or two because of the state of the world. Everything's just kind of up in the air with COVID. I was really hoping to take like extended time off for travel, but that's kind of pushed to the wayside for the moment. But I am planning on doing travel nursing for quite a bit longer. And so I've been at this hospital in Oakland for a while, and I think what my next move is going to be is possibly, I'm taking January off, going to hang with my family since I worked the holidays, and then I'm going to maybe get a job in San Francisco. I think I'm going to stay in the Bay Area for a chunk of time longer. And after that...
The money is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're doing okay.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Yes, okay.
And so I have, like Q said, I have played around with the idea of going to Hawaii just for fun. It just sounds like a fun adventure. Being somewhere totally different, a little more chilled out, the island vibes sound fun. And then I've always had a dream of living in like Brooklyn or Manhattan. I love that area. I kind of want to just keep taking this as it comes, but the whole COVID thing has been tricky, and honestly at this point I haven't really been inspired to go anywhere that's in the heart of COVID right now. I'm not one of those diehards that's trying to like get into a COVID crisis contract and like only have COVID patients. It sounds a little too intense.
100%.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, so, and I hear you. Look, listen, my last contract
Yeah, I
was
remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, it was in Connecticut, but it was on the border of Connecticut and New York. And the reason I decided to do that contract is because my intention was to go to New York, but COVID hit, and then I saw what was happening in New York, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
There's
fuck that.
There's no way. I get it, and I understand you, and I hear you. And good for you. It seems as though you're enjoying this process.
Yeah.
But I want you to explain to folks, because I've done it multiple times
Yeah.
in different videos.
Yeah.
But I want you to explain to the folks at home, what is the process for a travel nurse from ending an assignment and starting a new assignment? And try to keep it as general as possible, not based on what agency.
Right.
But like, what is that process and how do you go through that process?
Okay. Again, I'm kind of the worst person to ask because I've been at Highland with
I'm
the
here
same
to help.
agency
I'm
this
here
whole
to
time.
help.
But basically, each agency, you fill out your skills checklist of what you're comfortable with and what you're not so comfortable with. And then obviously you stick with your what you're comfortable with, which for me is med-surg. And so then you create a profile, you list all your experiences so far, what kind of units you've worked at, what kind of hospitals you've worked at, skills checklist, resume, and then boom, your profile goes up and all these hospitals can look at it. And what the best thing is I'm not scanning through looking for jobs, as jobs are like calling you and you are turning jobs down kind of left and right. It obviously depends on what's going on in the world. I know for a while, seasonally, some jobs are harder to find, but for the most part, people are always trying to hire travel nurses.
100%.
Yeah.
So look, the reason I asked that question, knowing Sarah's situation, is because I wanted to make it just very clear to y'all back home. Being a travel nurse is fantastic because number one, they need nurses everywhere, all the time, right? And if you become a travel nurse and you don't have anything tying you down, family, mortgage, whatever the hell the situation is, if you're able to travel and that's something you want to do, travel nursing is something you most definitely should do.
Totally.
Because they pay for your travel, number one, and number two, you get to pick where you go.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
You get
and what my plan is to always go off destination. Some people really go off of like where pay is and what contracts they're interested in. But for me, I'm like, I wanted to live in San Francisco, so I told the agency I was with, I'm really trying to stick with either within San Francisco proper or Bay Area, and it's nice that you have that flexibility.
It's more than nice.
Yeah.
And you picking the Bay Area is fantastic.
Yeah.
You get paid very well. But just continuing on, just like Sarah said, you get to pick. You get to pick. That's the key thing. So if you're in the middle of Montana, bumfuck, eastfuck, who gives a fuck? Yeah. Right? And you want to travel to the big city?
Yeah, do it.
Do it! Definitely do it. And the thing about it is, yes, it is sucky and shitty and crazy that it's COVID.
Yeah.
But you're a nurse and they need nurses everywhere.
Totally.
And yes, it is COVID, but there's COVID patients everywhere.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, Sarah, and this is the reason I'm having Sarah on. This is the reason I'm making this video. I haven't made a video. I haven't posted anything in forever because it's just been a shitty fucking year.
It's been a really, really hard year.
It's been a shitty fucking year. But more importantly than that, I didn't feel it was right for me to be over here partying and celebrating when everyone else is struggling. Yeah. It is a COVID-filled. It's COVID and it's killing people and it's horrible.
It
and
is.
The world sucks and this year sucks.
Yeah. Big time.
As a nurse, as a human being, just as a person, how have you been dealing with COVID, number one? And then number two, as a nurse, how's work been during the COVID situation?
Okay, so personally dealing with COVID outside of work, it's been hard. So over the summer, I feel like everything was a little more lax as far as shelter-in-place restrictions, which was a really nice break. And I just felt like I was sticking with regularly seeing like close friends that didn't have any high-risk contacts, even though now we're realizing that young people are also getting positives. So as of lately, I've been, especially now with this new spike coming up, and we're about to go into strict shelter in place in San Francisco starting tomorrow. I'm being much more strict. I just got a COVID test just for shits and gigs.
Thank you.
And
congratulations.
We're negative, so that's great. And then just really keeping my circle really small. I basically see one of my close friends from nursing school that lives in my neighborhood in San Francisco, and kind of just way dialing back the social circle that I was hanging with and being much more strict about social distancing, which to me, it's like, this is the home stretch. I'm just gonna put my head down, be responsible, get through this, because this vaccine is popping up much sooner than I ever expected. And being nurses, we're gonna maybe be in the first round to receive it. And I'm super down. I'm like, vaccinate me up. I don't care. I take the flu shot every year.
Yeah. I love that you said that because that's exactly what I was going to ask next.
Yeah.
If you would take the vaccine.
100%. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Yeah, whatever.
Is what we say, but working where we at, I know they're not going to give us a
Oh, no. But I mean, I don't think I'll even be working there anymore by then. But
yes.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, they're going to be like, you take it or you don't work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with a lot of COVID patients?
You know, I feel like, and I always try to figure this out. So maybe the first, when COVID first began, probably, March, April were probably our peak COVID months at the hospital that I've been working at all year, Highland. But I'm yet to see much of a second spike, at least not on the med-surg floor. And I'm wondering, is this because it's a trauma hospital and we prioritize traumas within the area rather than COVID patients? So I feel lucky in that I don't feel like we've been hit that hard with COVID at all. Like, I haven't taken care of a COVID patient. I had an asymptomatic, like, young 20-something kid the other day that was COVID positive. But aside from that one, I hadn't taken care of a COVID patient in probably over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. These COVID numbers spike, and it spikes like you when you turn on CNN, you see the numbers for the country, but you don't based on whatever city you in. Yeah. You might be like, "What the fuck is CNN talking about?"
And I feel like that's Bay Area in general. We've been doing okay. We've been doing comparatively. I think it's, oh my God, I can't say this word. Rural areas are getting hit pretty hard because their hospitals, their ICUs are not capable or getting filled up too fast and maybe don't have the machinery necessary to keep
Sarah, you're a really nice person. The truth is, it's the fucking Midwest where people think COVID's a hoax and they're not wearing masks.
I know.
But fuck out of here. Look, I wanna be nice, but I'm also a nurse, and I'm telling you the truth. Wear a mask when you're in public so you don't contract the disease and
easy.
Make the rest of the world.
And I feel thankful that we're in, Bay Area where people are very pro-mask. Yes. I think way good. Like, I'll be if I'm walking on the beach, for example, and it's just me, I'll take my mask off, and it's like the empty beach, and someone will be like 20 feet away from me and give me like a dirty look. That's how good people are about masking. Because, it's like if I'm outside and not close to anyone, I'm going to take a couple breaths of fresh air. Yeah. So I think people are really good about masking around here.
Well, good.
And it shows because we haven't. Like I said, I feel like we haven't been slammed with COVID cases.
Since working, I don't know, but since working in California, you're right. But at the same time, we do work at the same hospital, so it's hard for me to say. Yeah. But agreed. We haven't had too many high numbers.
Yeah.
I haven't actually taken care of a COVID patient. Yeah. A ton of rule outs, but they always end up being negative.
Always end up being negative.
They always end up being negative.
Yeah.
They always do end up being negative.
Right.
Okay. So look, Sarah. So now we get to talk about you as a human being.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we took care of the nursing stuff. This is a nursing podcast. This is a nursing YouTube channel. Yeah. So I have to get that out the way.
Okay, great.
But let's talk about Sarah as a human being.
Okay, what are we gonna start with?
Because I said this before. Sarah is like during this entire COVID situation. Sarah, she actually when I first started at the hospital that I worked with her at, she was my preceptee.
That was such a crazy day. I don't even like to think about that day. Oh my God, thank God you were my second set of hands that day. I was drowning that whole day, and then you were just like picking up after me everywhere we went. Oh my God.
That's what us travel nurses do, ladies and
help
gentlemen.
Each other out.
Exactly. But she was my preceptee. And ever since I met her, and it's not just that day. It's the days when I give her report. It's the days when we grab food together outside of work. It's all of these things. I've had a hard time during this COVID situation is because I've been really depressed because I've never been told not to go visit my family. Yeah. There's never been a rule as to why I can't visit my family. And Thanksgiving just happened, as you guys all know, and I was told not to fly back home because of COVID. And that was one of the saddest, most depressing, most heart-aching feelings I've ever had. I've never been told in my life, you can't visit the family.
Right. Anyways. Like, it's not an option.
It's not an option, which really, really hurt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, y'all know, because if you follow me on Insta, Negro follow me on Insta. If you follow me on Insta, you see me popping off. I've been partying with my friends here in California. So I've been living my life, having the best time of my life, and then feeling really depressed because I can't see my family.
Yeah.
And it's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
And ever since this COVID situation happened, ever since I started working here in California, Sarah, every time I've seen her, she's been super happy. She's been super positive. She's given me hope. And that's the reason I have Sarah on
Oh my God,
on the Everyday Hero show.
Wow.
No, I'm being dead serious, but thank
I
you.
really
Thank you,
appreciate you
Sarah.
saying that.
Of course. But with all that being said, Sarah, let's talk about you as a human being.
Okay.
Okay? Because this is I think this is what matters. As a human being.
Yeah.
Sarah, how are you so positive? How are you smiling every day?
The thing
What
is-
brings joy? Because I work with the same patients you
Right,
do,
right.
and they don't make me smile.
No. Oh my God. Believe me.
So,
yeah.
So what keeps you so
yeah.
joyful?
So,
if I may ask?
well, the thing is, I do feel like I have this. I have been told I do have a happy disposition, but I also feel like I'm very in touch with. I don't think. Sometimes I don't think there's always a silver lining. I think the world is a complicated, sometimes really dark place, and especially working in a trauma hospital, we have some really sad, dark, tough cases, and I think it's just, you have to there's like a lot of sadness in the world, and that's very real, and to just be friends with that, and then to know where to draw a personal boundary of how much you're going to take on that sadness of your patients, of what other people are going through, and your own personal stuff, because everyone has
100%.
personal stuff going on that's hard and difficult. Any year, but this year has different struggles that I think everyone's dealing with, and then to me it's keeping that personal. I use the term what fills your cup, as in what makes your heart feel full. What brings that happy, good, joyful, energized feeling to you? So yeah, to me, that's why I'm I could never work Monday through Friday, because to me, I need those days off are so important to recharge, take care of yourself, and then you can show up to work and work really hard, try your best. Occasionally interact with some really tough personalities, and that's just part of the job. And you just let things roll off, because if you're going to take and internalize everything that you see and hear at work, or just, out and about in life, oh my God, your heart's going to be so heavy. I don't know how you're going to.
You couldn't make it.
You couldn't.
There's no way.
No.
There's too much sadness.
No.
There's too much sadness.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that.
Okay.
When you said it, I literally just wrote it down.
Okay, what?
What fills your cup?
What fills your cup?
What fills your cup? Talk to me about what does that
Okay.
mean to you? Explain that,
Totally.
please.
So let's see. I feel very blessed in that, I don't know, you just go through life and you meet some really incredible people, and people ask me what you're passionate about. I'm like, my friends. I'm so passionate about my friends. I have friends that I've had, my first friends are from when I think I was 8 years old. Growing up dancing, we all danced at our studio together, and they're some good friends. I have good friends from high school, from college, and now from work. And on my days off, I always make sure to see a friend or two. Obviously, you need to have some days where you just lay low and chill and do your own thing, but I need my friend community as everything to me, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you say fills my cup, it's just that the needs for that specific person.
Or more that sense of community.
Sense of community.
Yeah. That's,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay. Okay.
because it's a slew of people at this point from all different parts of life that I still keep in touch with, and I like to hear what they're up to. They like to hear what I'm up to. And then some people that live in San Francisco that I'll come hang out with, and you just talk about what's going on and enjoy each other, laugh. Laughing is so important to me. Just having fun. It's so important, and
Sarah,
a sense of community is huge. I don't know what people do without it. But yeah, friends are huge.
I love this because you are at the place where I think a lot of people need to be, and then especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Because this time of year it's hard.
It is, yeah.
And
And it's hard because of the social distance thing. And, people are being much less social for the most part than maybe what they're used to. And then there's this fear about being social or guilt, which is super legitimate, and you should be taking precautions. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. And it is important. So you want to be as safe as you possibly can be, but at the same time, if you are with someone, enjoy that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Soak it in.
Yeah.
Make it the best situation as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that. And that's what I hear when I hear fill the cup.
Yeah.
Like, fill your cup.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you with someone, just soak
and then
it
there's
all
so
in.
much I don't know, especially when you've known someone for a decade plus. Oh my God. How special is that? And you just keep learning and growing and just the exchange of information. And you know so many other people in their lives. You know about ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, sisters, aunts, uncles, moms, dads. It's just like, it's that chosen family that just stays in your life. And I just want to keep growing and build this gorgeous chosen family love.
She's talking
community.
about exes. She's talking about spilling the tea. So here we go. Let's spill the tea. You brought it up, Sarah. So I'm going to jump on the
Oh my God, really?
I'm going to jump on the opportunity.
Oh no.
So
what?
when I first started, Sarah and I, we she was my preceptee. We went through the entire day. During our break, we sat down, we had lunch. And then I asked Sarah about her haircut.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. And now we're going to talk about the hair. Okay.
Sorry.
You see my tail flowing in the wind.
No. Now it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Now it looks fantastic. But with that being said, Sarah, can we talk about this? Because you just seem, and I don't want to talk about the hair specifically. That's not what I want. I want to talk about your bravery to do what you want when you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the energy. That's the feeling, and that's the that's the intention that I want to share with the people back there, because I love that about you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel something, you think it's right, and then you do it. Explain that.
Wow.
And maybe you can talk about the hair. Maybe it has nothing to do with the hair.
Right,
but
okay. I
the
see what
hair
you're
is
saying.
how I
Gotcha.
felt it.
Yeah, okay. So, you know what? I'm not a big New Year's resolution person at all, but there's always every day being genuine.
Yes.
Just I'm always drawn to authentic people and seeking and going deeper and deeper into my own personal authenticity, or authentic self, I should say, and genuine self is always a goal of mine, to just keep learning about what is my core values, what's important to me, what's guiding me. And I think about this every once in a while, or past life events have made me realize that the way I make my decisions is I'm a big body feeler. Some people make a lot of decisions from their brain and think about things deeply. I kind of turn my brain off, and I feel like, is my heart beating really fast? Do I have tension in my neck or my gut? And then I kind of think, am I really excited about this? Am I feeling excited, happy feelings? And then that's kind of a guide for how I'm going to proceed in whatever I'm thinking about, decisions I'm making. So it's kind of I think the body is really smart. The gut and the heart you gotta listen to them. And people will suppress those feelings and shut them down and go, but I'm gonna do what's smart. I'm gonna do what I was told to do. Yeah, I was told to do. I'm gonna do what I think I'm supposed to do, and think, and live in this brain space. And I just think everyone needs to take some time and shut their brain off every once in a while. Yeah. Listen to your body. It's so wise. So much information.
Sarah,
do you think I'm crazy? You think I'm crazy now?
Fucking love that. I love that.
I was like, this could go one or two ways.
Listen, this COVID situation, the fact that everyone has to be, in their house and stay with themselves, and a lot of the time stay with their family or their roommates, whoever the situation, stuck in the situation you put yourself in.
Yeah.
Forces you to really look within.
Yeah.
And that's such a great point.
Yeah.
The fact that you're talking about the headspace versus the actual space.
Yeah.
Because you can open your mind and say, all right, this is the plan that I had for 2020.
Exactly.
And this is what's
Nothing's
actually
going to plan,
Yes.
going with anyone's original plan,
Exactly.
you know?
No,
So,
nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is the perfect time
okay, what?
for us to jump back into your dancing.
Oh, yeah.
I have this section, part of my YouTube channel podcast, where I say nurses are human too.
Yeah. People forget all the time.
All the fucking time, especially
you
when,
like live at the hospital. Yeah.
especially when you have scrubs on. So it's nice that we don't have scrubs
Yeah,
on, so
totally.
it's easier to soak in.
Yeah, we're amongst you all the time.
Exactly. We hear what you hear.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, we talk the same shit you do,
Right.
Rumps. But with that being said, it sounds like dancing is your passion.
Yeah, it totally is. And I'm thankful that I didn't take it a professional route. I don't even know if that ever would have even panned out. But because it's to me, it's like, one of my favorite activities to shut my brain off. I love shutting my brain off, if you can't tell. And just like get in your body and take up space and move and feel expansive. I do miss dancing at dance studios. Not being able to do that this year has been really hard. I got a little teaspoon of it pre-COVID times. But now it's mostly like literally just like wiggling and moving around my room. But it's been an interesting endeavor in that, there's no guidance. No, I'm not learning choreography from an instructor. I'm not getting corrections. So it's kind of really intuitive movement that I'll just do and, I don't know, express and just have a different body outlet.
And that's nice. And look, listen, and like, so you guys are watching this video. So her version of dancing is my version of making these YouTube videos. Like
Exactly.
she likes to dance. I like to talk.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Right?
Totally. That's a great point.
And I share it out there and I express it and I do my fair share of outside of work thing, right?
Totally.
I want you to just help the nurses out there.
Okay.
And this is specific to nurses. So if you're not a nurse, thank you for hanging out, but
Bye.
Bye-bye. No, but like, look, listen, if you have a legit job and you have a passion that isn't that job, or if you have something that you like to do outside of work that isn't that job, explain to me, how do you get that chip, that urge, that temptation off of your back without feeling guilty, without feeling that you need to switch professions, without feeling like, because I feel like being a nurse, having 4 days off, I'm allowed to sit out here and have a conversation with Sarah.
Yeah,
so
for
it's hard
sure.
for other people, but for nurses specifically, let's keep it just for nurses.
Yeah.
How do you break that up? How do you break it up so you functional?
So you mean like, how do I not like wish that I had gone into dancing or something like that?
Exactly. So how do you not have any resentment for not dancing for your career?
I guess because I'm thankful that it's still only a happy, joyful, fun other outlet. It's not something that I gotta get a gig or I gotta do this so I can pay rent or get groceries. It's just something that brings me just a ton of joy and expression and community. Like dance communities are always very cool. And when this COVID situation clears up, I definitely like want to be in a dance show at some point soon. Yeah. I don't know, and just like get involved with the dance group of sorts.
Yes.
And how awesome. It's just something like, because, I think nurses and other people, your job should be a part of who you are, but it shouldn't be all of who you are.
Amen.
And so, and I'm lucky enough to like my job and have passions outside of work. That make me really happy, like dancing. And I'm so glad that it's just this happy, fulfilling outlet for me. Yeah.
I love that. Look, listen, it's hard for us to give you like a to-do list of things to do to end up to this place where like you feel content with your life and the situations and and what you're doing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to decide. Like you have to make money because you have to survive.
Yeah. It's a tough world out there right now.
100%
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Especially
it's hard
today.
to make it it's hard to like scrape by these days. I mean, granted, we live in one of the most expensive areas like in the world right now, but you know, regardless, the world is getting pricier and pricier to get by. It's
not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah,
it's not easy. But like what I'm hearing from what you're saying is, if there's something that you want to do that you can't get paid for, and that's what you feel like your calling is, do it fucking anyways. Please. Like, I am begging you. Just go out there and do it. Like,
do it.
If you like to dance, go out and dance, right? If you can't pay for it, watch a YouTube video, find someone on Google, like a friend, any way possible that you can get that urge, passion, temptation out of your system.
Right.
While you're making money, and work your way to making that your career, job, day to day, whatever.
Right.
But outside of that is, for you nurses out there, you have 4 days off.
Yeah.
So stop.
See, that's what I mean. It's like, how cool is that
Exactly.
you could pursue something to almost a professional degree if you really wanted to and were really disciplined and dedicated and want to put that much time into it. You could really pursue something to a professional degree outside of nursing.
Being a nurse.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm a nurse. I love being a nurse, and
Yeah.
I love doing, and I love the life it's given me. So I enjoy this. So it's hard for me to just be like, go out and do it. But like, honestly, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Before we say goodbye, Sarah, this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for doing
Oh
this.
my God, thank you for inviting me. This has been very fun.
Oh,
I was nervous.
Stop
Talking
it.
is hard sometimes.
You're a natural. You're a natural. But with that being said, before we go, there's a couple of questions I want to ask you just to say goodbye to the folks out there.
Great.
It's usually two main things.
Okay.
Number one is for the newbies.
Okay.
For the brand new nurses out there.
Yeah.
For the preceptees like myself who aren't already nurses, who are just getting into the game.
Okay.
Who are starting their nursing profession. Because nursing school just ended. It's almost the end of the summer.
My little brother's in this crew right now.
Hey.
Yeah.
So for these nurses, for these brand new nurses, what advice do you have for them? Number one, in general, and number two, coming in during COVID.
Okay. So number one, in general, is that the first year is hard. It just feels like, I remember feeling like every single minute I needed to be doing something, which it was true. And then the detail piece of, you know, it just feels like there are unlimited details and so many things feel like they're slipping through the cracks. And you're like looking at all the other more experienced nurses thinking, how are they so chill? How do they not miss anything? But the thing is maybe regarding, or depending on what floor you're on, or you're going to get more and more comfortable on your unit and you're going to start to see patterns, and then you're going to just be that knowledgeable, calm, seasoned nurse, because you're going to be like, oh, someone's coming in for a GI bleed. What's their latest H&H? Have we transfused them? Like, you just get used to the patterns that you see, and then you're going to be that much more knowledgeable and experienced and calm and not miss things. You're going to be reminding other people on things they're missing maybe. And that is a good feeling when you are become that calm.
Get over that hump.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest thing is take care of yourself on your days off. Make sure that your home is conducive for rest and relaxation and recharging, because I needed so much of that first year. And don't feel guilty if you're not as social. I totally kind of had to tone down and really rest. I actually had a mantra that I would tell myself.
Ooh,
hit
me, boo.
Yeah,
me.
I am, oh my God. Okay, I need to remember this. I am calm, I am receptive, and I retain knowledge. I think that's what it was.
I am calm, I am receptive,
I
and I retain knowledge. I am calm, I am receptive, and
I would literally say that.
Knowledge.
I walked to work during that first year, and I would say that to myself as I was walking to work, and I would kind of just like get in this space where I was ready to take it on, because it's tough. And so getting in having a zen, restful space, taking care of yourself on your days off, and just, you don't know.
Living it. Listen, a couple of more questions. A couple of things that I need to point out before I ask you the final question of the interview. Number one, she's exactly right when she says, "Ask the experienced folks."
Yeah.
Because So you have to understand, as a nurse, as a healthcare profession, the reason they break up hospitals into units is because they want everyone on the cardiac unit to be specifically knowledge on the cardiac
on the heart,
stuff.
yeah.
Right? They want people on the spine unit to know their spine
Exactly.
shit. That's how they do it for a reason.
Yeah.
So when you get there, if you see an experienced nurse, if they introduce you to this nurse, or when you walk in by and say, this is a nurse, she's been here for 10 years, you take a note. Ask the nurse that's been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
She knows what to expect.
Right.
She knows what you need to do. She knows the meds that are given to the majority of patients. So once you get used to the repetition on your specific unit.
Because there is repetition.
Which
is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then you get
Which
comfortable.
is good.
Yeah.
You get comfortable, and then you know what to expect when bad things, or when patients look like they're going downhill.
Yes, that's huge. That's huge to know which patients are really sick and to keep a closer eyeball on them and know when to call the doctor and all that. Exactly. So the hardest part is all just takes time. You know, it's going to be crazy uncomfortable and stressful for many first months. And then you'll come to work and you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't have a nightmare about work. What? Oh my God, I didn't have a stress dream. This is great. So yeah, it's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Okay, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Sorry, yeah.
And then to start as a new nurse during COVID.
Oh, yes. That's the yes. New nurse during COVID. Advice, please and thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's similar. Honestly, I'm thankful to be a medical professional during this time because I can only imagine if you don't have a good understanding of like how this virus spreads, the fear must be huge. So I'm thankful. I mean, there's still fear, obviously, but I feel like take your precautions, be smart. But I'm thankful that I have the knowledge that we do as nurses about how this virus spreads. Exactly. Also, you know, say you feel like you need to rush into your COVID patient's room. Take care of yourself. Put that N95 on, the face shield, your gown. Don't compromise your personal safety. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I feel like that would be a big one. I feel like I can imagine a new grad feeling like, oh, I need to run into this room and do X, Y, Z. No. Don't accidentally get COVID because you felt like you needed to rush in. Get all your PPE on and be smart about it.
100%.
Yeah.
I love... God damn it, Sarah, you need to do this more often.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Sarah, I've been prior to us talking, I was like, Sarah, you need to do something. You need to share some of this goodness with the rest of the world.
I don't know. Okay.
That's fantastic advice. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. The reason you're a nurse is because you have the ability to help other people, right? And that's what you get paid to do.
Yeah,
so if you decide to risk your life to save one other person, that means you're telling the rest of the potential people you could help, fuck it, I don't care, I'm going to risk my life.
Yeah,
so what Sarah said is 100% right. Yes, emergencies happen. Yes, you might have to rush into a patient's room. They're puking, they're vomiting. Dare not, and hopefully, knock on wood, they're coding, right? But even in those situations, it is part of, at least where I work, it is part of the protocol. You need to wear the correct PPE because if you get sick, not only are you making the other patients sick who are already sick being in the hospital, but you're making your coworker sick and you're fucking it up for everybody.
Yeah.
So what Sarah said is not only just like the best advice, but it's kind of like the only advice you need during COVID. Protect yourself, be safe, and then help others when you can.
Totally.
Sarah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh my God, it's been a pleasure to be on this.
Ladies and
so
gentlemen,
fun.
look, listen. Sarah, she says she doesn't have a social. If she says okay, I'll put the insert down below that you can get. At least go follow. But with that being said, the reason I had her on is because she's been positive. And the reason I think it's super important, and the reason this is the one podcast or the one video I decided to do coming back, is because we've been in such a downturn. It's been such a shitty fucking year.
Yeah.
So if there's any positivity anywhere in your life, exactly, jump to that opportunity, get it,
and try not to feel guilt associated with it unless you're being bad. But if you take it and enjoy it and enjoy those happy moments fully. 100%. Yeah.
Well, I'll catch you on the flip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the good things. You know me, I need the love. Share it, do it. Catch you on the flip.
Okay. Bye.